So I got a text from my friend Bedger of Grigorig recently that made me think. The text spoke thus: "Were there any Transformers games back in the day?" It just struck me I don't remember any, and that seems so weird considering how big it was. So I cast my mind back, and nothing came to memory. Well, not that I personally played, that was. I remember some Transformers games on the microcomputers of the time, but I assume my comrade was thinking more along the lines of console games. But then, I did have a hazy recollection of a Japanese Famicom game that I'd seen on an old Angry Video Game Nerd episode at some point. My interest was grasped, and before I knew it I was on the internet laying down 6 of the finest British pounds to ever leave the treasury for my own copy. Plus shipping. Bargain. So after some swift delivery related tomfoolery, a copy of the game was in my possession. But before we get to the game proper, there's just one thing I had to know. What's that title all about? Mystery of Convoy? What the? So after a brief peek online, it turns out that Japan didn't get Transformers the movie until 4 years after its Western release. So when Season 3 of the series started, with Optimus Prime now deceased, there was an odd gap in the continuity as no explanation was given. So along comes Mystery of Convoy, or Convoy to give it its typo-free actual title, to plug the hole. As it turns out, Convoy is the name of Optimus Prime in the Japanese market, and the mystery is what had killed him. And thus we get to the game, with the incorrectly portrayed new Autobot leader, Ultra Magnus, now heading deep into enemy territory to solve the mystery, presumably leaving the actual leader, Rodimus Prime, back at Autobot City, tidying after the Decepticons smashed the place up like some unruly drunkards on their way home from the pub. But enough of the messing around. Let's pop this bad boy in and see what it's all about. Yeah, I don't actually have a Famicom, so the Retron 5 will have to do, if it actually ever decides to recognise the car. Oh man, come on will ya? My NES controllers are packed away right now, so a Super Nintendo pad will have to suffice. Finally. Right, let's do this. Okay, so the graphics don't look up to much at a glance. We've got some planes. Alright, so when you shoot them they turn into their robot modes. Incorporating the transformations, I like it. Except, I can't seem to shoot them because they're slightly under the height Ultra Magnus is holding his gun. And obviously, aiming down slightly is not in his interest. If you're not automatically in his line of fire, that's your problem. Magnus adjusts his aim for no one. So if you hold down, he doesn't duck, which would have been handy. Holding it for a prolonged time, however, seems to trigger his transformation. Don't really see much point in being the truck, mind you. In fact, with his wayward shooting, it doesn't even seem like a good idea to engage half these enemies. At this moment, just jumping over stuff seems to be my best option, except when you can't help it. I've gotta say, I'm not really feeling this game from first impressions, but no prob, we'll soldier on. Okay, we got the next stage. Man, these planes! These projectiles just fly in before you can even move. Brutal would be one word. Annoying would be another. Still, this game won't break me. It's all good. It's Transformers and it's worth enduring. Okay, we got a boss. It's the Decepticon logo. I don't understand. Irritating is another word springing to mind right now. Still, I'm not gonna succumb to abusing the game. There must be some good here, just waiting to light our darkest hour. What are these enemies even supposed to be? Oh. Man, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna say it. This game sucks. Okay, this goes beyond mere amusement at how bad it is. I tried to give this game a chance. I really did. But this game is horrendous. I mean, it actually made me feel genuinely down and like I should reconsider my life. But when you battle your way to the later levels only to have a life chalked off for something like this happening for the millionth time, there's only so much credit you can give. Then there's this stage, which doesn't make any sense as I would beat it and then get sent back to the start. So as it turns out, you have to traverse it via a particular route, otherwise it just resets. There's no way to even know what parts you're doing right or wrong, as there's no indication at all. Forget that. I used this map I found online. At this point, I don't want to spend a second longer on this game than I have to. This game is way too hard. I mean, I've heard of NES hard, but Famicom hard seems to be on the next level. Wait a minute. It's 2018! Surely there's an option to pay my way through the game. Darn it, I can't see one anywhere here. Oh, apparently there's a continue cheat holding A, B and start, and it's free. What the? Will wonders never cease? Well, free is a good price in my book. I'll take 20. Or however many it takes to get through the game, which is a lot. In fact, by EA standards, this game would have cost me £3,078 and 57 pence to have completed, and that's before I even factored in any packs to get an informed Rodimus Prime who you can apparently unlock if you go to the effort of collecting these letters. And yeah, he's a straight palette swap of Ultra Magnus, so at least the developers have put in more effort than EA ever would have. So in summary, I'll be sure to text the boy Bedgel back and inform him that while a Famicom Transformers game does indeed exist, and may seem like a good idea in theory, it's unfortunately kinda not. But when Grigorig has become a synonym for investigative journalism that leaves no stone unturned, we at least have to check it out just to be sure, as painful as it kinda was. And with that, I'll say thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Same Grig time, same Grig channel. Laters.